Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. You guys, wow. That is all I have to say. This video today is probably gonna be like one of the most personal videos I've ever filmed, and it's just gonna be a crazy one for me. So I don't know what emotions are gonna come out today. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I just know that I'm here to give the truth. I'm here to give the facts, and we're gonna talk about why my dad didn't come to my reveal and how I feel about that and all that fun stuff. So I guess it's not an exciting video today. It's a weird energy. So I guess we're just gonna have to like jump right into the story, because at this point you guys all want to know why my dad didn't come to the reveal. I have Patrick here today because Patrick was, as you guys can see from the show, there for everything that happened, from confronting my dad to being at the reveal, just being through the whole process with me.
Living it.
And a lot of why my dad didn't come to the reveal, I know because of Patrick, and Patrick's the one that talked to him, and all those fun facts. So definitely the story needs to include Patrick to hear everything that, that went on. Whew. Okay, where do we begin? I guess me and Patrick, have two different points of view, because when this was all happening, I was separated from everybody. So how your reveal works, obviously no one's seen you. It's your reveal. And I didn't know who was gonna show up and who wasn't gonna be there. I invited a lot of different people, but it was like on a Tuesday at like 5 p.m. So I knew that
on Hollywood Boulevard.
So I knew the chances that a ton of people were gonna be able to show up was slim, but I'm so appreciative to everyone who did come, was able to make it. Thank you. You guys rock, and I appreciate all the support from the bottom of my heart. So anyways, so I didn't know who was gonna come, who wasn't gonna come, and all that fun stuff. Leading up to the reveal, I had been talking to my brother a lot about it, because obviously he knew at this point. My brother and my dad were living together, so my brother had been keeping it a secret because he didn't want to upset my dad, and frankly my brother really didn't want to be involved in like any of this. I genuinely did think he was going to show up to my reveal, and I was really disappointed and upset that he didn't come. And after the reveal wrapped, I talked to him, and I truthfully told him, I said, I think mom would have been really disappointed, and that was a really asshole move of him not to come. Jake has graduations and special birthdays, and anything that's special to Jake, like, I've always showed up. And I can't believe something that I had been working on for so long and put so much dedication, sweat, and tears into, and for him to not show up for me like I've always showed up for him, was just like crazy to me. So I'm not gonna lie and say that I wasn't upset about that. I was genuinely upset that my brother didn't come. So they lived together. My brother didn't want to say anything to my dad about the reveal. I separately invited my dad, as you guys saw on the show, to the reveal, and that was his first time hearing about it. And as you guys saw on camera, it made it seem like he was probably gonna come. And then leading up to the reveal, I didn't really see my brother and my dad that much, because I had to be training, I had work to do, I had a whole life going on. So anything that was extracurricular activities or like friendships or anything really, like I missed out for months. Like I couldn't go out because I'd be tempted to eat, and I would eat. And I did go out a few times. I had self-control, but if I was doing that regularly, I knew I was gonna break, and I was very focused on what I was doing. So I didn't really see my brother and my dad too much leading up to it, but my brother and my dad definitely did get a bunch of notice when the reveal was happening, like what week it was happening. So it wasn't like they were completely oblivious, and the show was bending over backwards for my dad. So I just want to say this in context. To me, my dad didn't really have any excuse not to be there. The show made it very clear that they were supportive of my dad and I trying to like work on a relationship back together. And so they wanted it to make sure that if he wanted to be there, that he could be there. And because
they offered him transportation. He's from Orange County. They said, hey, we will make sure you can get from point A to point B. And he flat out said no.
So he didn't really have to focus on anything other than just showing up and being there, essentially, and being supportive if he wanted to. Behind the scenes, while I was getting ready for my reveal, someone was like, oh, do you think your dad's gonna come? And I was like, honestly, I don't think he's gonna come. To me, you guys obviously only saw such a small portion of the discussion that happened between my dad and we actually filmed that for about 2 hours. So obviously what they put in, but that conversation lasted a long time and I don't think it went well. And there was like a few minutes where it looked like maybe he'd come around or maybe he'd like have some kind of epiphany or something. But out of 2 hours, those 5 minutes to me, like this didn't faze me. This is who my dad has been my whole life, and it doesn't surprise me that he doesn't want to admit to what he did. And before we filmed that scene with my dad, I had to be with a therapist. Like, I was so upset. I didn't know how to confront him. It was like, you're angry, you're sad.
Anxiety
I had
at the highest.
Yeah, I had so much anxiety, and also they don't want me and Patrick like talking beforehand, so they separate us so we can't be in the same rooms. So I'm just sitting there with this therapist like freaking out. And it was so weird to me because this was a discussion I wanted to have my whole life, but like, how do you do that? It's like, I mean, obviously like I did it, but it's like there's no real good way to be like, hey dad, I want to confront you about some childhood abuse.
Yeah.
Just the whole situation was weird. I don't think it went well. And then the times that I did see my dad after the show, in between confronting him in the reveal, he ignored me. At the first event we went to, Patrick was with me. He completely ignored me.
It was a family Christmas event. Acted like we weren't even there.
Just completely out of the picture. And then he left, didn't say goodbye, don't know where he went. Then the time after I saw him, it was Christmas, but like I was like obligated to see him. My brother loves my dad, obviously. And so it wasn't weird because it was Christmas and like we were all like had to be there, I guess, you know what I mean? Then after that, he just like, I don't know, he didn't really like talk to me or anything. And then like one time after that, he ignored me again. So it was like really weird. It was just like, and I knew he obviously has his own personal thoughts. We haven't talked about it since the show, other than when I talked to my brother and told him that I was disappointed he didn't come, I also said something to my dad. And ultimately, I didn't know why he didn't come at that moment when I was behind there. Meanwhile, while I'm getting ready for the reveal, this is where Patrick will take over.
So basically, I noticed that her dad and her brother weren't there, so I decided to take it upon myself and try and contact them, see where they were, see how long it was going to take them to get there, because I was the first person there, ready to rock and roll, get this done. And basically, I just kept calling. I called her dad, her brother, the house, just trying to get in contact. I finally reached someone, and it happened after 20 calls, 20 plus.
Like half an hour.
Least. Yeah, no, definitely. I finally reached her brother, and her brother was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, where are you? And he's like, oh, I'm at home.
Unfortunately, at this time, we were forced to sell our house in Orange County, and my brother and I were owners of that house. And we were moving everything, but also it wasn't like my dad and my brother didn't know when they had to be out of the house. They had almost 3 months notice. They knew what week my reveal was. So there you guys was really no excuses for them to be there. So for my brother to pick up the phone so casually and just be like, what? What do you mean what?
It was disrespectful.
And you keep going.
So he answered the phone, said, I I'm here at home. What's up? Basically, I'm like, what do you mean? Literally, there's a major event for your sister going on right now. Where are you? And he said, I can't go. And it just made excuses and just excuse after excuse. And then I said, so where's your dad? And he said, oh, he's outside mowing the lawn.
So that's the big reveal. That's where my dad was during my reveal that I worked over a year process. Obviously it's just 12 weeks to lose the weight, but between the interviews and other filmings and things we had to do, this was over a year process. And all this hard work that I put in, and you had to mow the fucking lawn.
So then,
ooh, girl!
I say, well, can I talk to him? So he goes and gets his dad, stops mowing the lawn, and I say, hey, Mark, where are you? What's going on? And Mark is basically like, hey, there's so much stress. We're moving and and it was a very weak excuse given the situation.
That was literally it. He just said, we're moving, and I have stuff to do.
And it's just inappropriate, seeing as this is a moment for your daughter that she's waited for her whole life and wanted to celebrate and kind of invite you into her life in a way. And you chose to miss out on all those years and miss out on that one moment as well. You chose that.
My reveal, for me personally, was the beginning of the new book in my life. Not even a new chapter, a completely new book. There was Hayley, then there was Hayley Herms, now there's Hayley in Paradox, and this is the third book in my life. And the most important book in my life, it was just a celebration of a brand new healed me. After my mom, during filming, I lost a lot of friends. I lost one of my best friends. Revenge Body was a really good high for me, and it was a really low for me. So while I was getting so many blessings from Chloe, blessings from Corey, blessings from the producers, blessings now after the show's over, but it was lows, losing people who just, they need your attention, they need your time, they need everything from you. And when you thought someone was going to be there during the toughest time and they just left, but also part of it was alcoholism, but
a very serious issue,
which we all know is a very serious issue. And it's so sad I had to lose friends to alcoholism,
friends,
family, friends, a lot of things. I've lost a lot of things to alcoholism. And it was very lonely. And although I did have to be alone a lot, the people that were supposed to be there weren't. I mean, besides, Patrick and a couple other people. But still, it was devastating. I gained a lot and I lost a lot at the same time. So when you physically, mentally, emotionally, and when you go through so much of a transformation and you get to the end point and there's no one there, you have to really make sure you did this for yourself. And at the end of the day, I was happy for me, and yes, it was upsetting, but I knew I could bounce back. I knew bigger, better things were coming. And so I actually wasn't upset, too upset that my dad didn't come. I didn't really want him there to begin with, and I really was hoping that he didn't come. I wasn't gonna tell him that because I wanted him to make his own decision so I could see where my dad truly wanted our relationship to be, what his soul, ego, whatever was gonna tell him whether or not to show up or not. And it made its decision. And I'm not mad because that's what I asked the universe for, was an answer. And I got my answer. And I'm really happy that I got that answer. And I know that I can move on with my life now. It feels so amazing. I'm just disappointed for my dad because in my heart, I know that was his last chance to really get through to me. And it was such a big chance that he had. And just in general, I think it's sad when you give someone such a huge opportunity and they blow it. You just, I think naturally you're gonna feel sad for someone who blows an opportunity, especially when it's with your own daughter who you've had no relationship with for 18 years and someone you used to abuse. It's just crazy to me. So it was a little upsetting in the fact that I was almost upset for him, but for me, I felt like I got my answers and was able to move on with my life, and I was actually just way more upset with my brother.
I think one point is he refused to believe that he abused you. So in his mind, he didn't see the need to do any of this, which was inappropriate. And when I was on the phone with him, I was shaking because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what was coming out of his mouth. And, he had every opportunity to be there. He could have gotten a ride from me, anyone, everyone. There was transportation, there was options, there was everything. And he chose not to be there, And so did your brother, and so did so many other people. And I mean, they had, yeah.
And that was a lot to go through at that time. But looking back at it, I'm really glad because now I'm moving on with my life full of people that I know are going to be there, that I know are going to be consistent, that went through the death of my mom with me. They went through one of the biggest transformations of my life with me. And now they're moving forward with me in one of my biggest career life's path and changes. So much is happening for me with my career right now, and it's so exciting. And I'm not gonna lie and say sometimes I don't get sad because if I had to go to New York for Christmas or somewhere for some special holiday, no one would miss me. I don't have family, so it doesn't really matter. But the thought that I get to create my own family and my own world around me, it's so beautiful because not many people have that opportunity to get to live exactly how, obviously stuff's gonna happen that you can't control, but a lot of people get stuck with their family members, and because they feel like that's their blood, that they have to suffer through that abuse and they have to go through that. And I just want to let you guys know you don't. That is definitely not a thing. Doesn't matter if the person is your blood, is your neighbor, is your coworker, your relative, whatever. There is no excuse or reason for abuse of any kind, mental, physical, verbal, emotional, spiritual. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, my dad didn't come because he decided to mow the lawn. He wanted to blame it being busy on the sale of our house. But as I told you guys, they did anything transportation wise to get him there. And they had known for 3 months that they were selling that house and that they needed to vacate the property on XYZ date. And they chose to be a week before and not properly take care of the house so that they could use that as an excuse to not be at my reveal. And just to add, my reveal was only an hour in total, and just the actual party, they probably would have had them get there early. But so in all, they wouldn't be spending more than 2 hours there. And then just altogether, the drive from Orange County and things like that, it would have been more than 4 or 5 hours. It was nighttime. My dad gets off of work at 3 p.m. So you guys, there was no excuse. He just chose to be a bum. That's the story. I know that wasn't a story that was full of energy and life, but that is the truth of what happened. It's really that simple, and it's really that frustrating. But that's the answer why my dad didn't come to my reveal. So currently I decided not to further continue my relationship with my father. I strictly only talk to him over text message. My therapist and I decided that's what's best. I do communicate with him occasionally if it's about family members or my brother or something of that nature. But, I feel good with the decision I've made. That is all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about my dad and my brother below. How do you think? What do you feel? And yeah, and then Patrick and I just want to give you guys a really important announcement. If you watch the episode or you're just watching this video, you can obviously tell we do not stand for any kind of abuse of any nature. So if you or someone you love is going through that situation,
stand up, speak out, do something. Don't be silent. Take action. Don't let someone suffer. It's not okay. Be the bigger person.
In the description, we're going to list hotlines and numbers and websites and just resources in general if you or someone you know is being abused, to get that help and be able to reach out to someone and get some advice of what you can do and how you can get out of that situation and move forward with your life.
Don't be afraid to talk. Talk to someone you love, and if you can't find someone you love to help you, don't be afraid to speak to someone else. Letting the truth out is more valuable than keeping it inside.
And to keep you safe and give you a better future and better opportunities. If you know better, you need to do better.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen my episode of Khloe Kardashian's Revenge Body, it is on E! You can find it online or on your TV. Yeah, really. So make sure you guys check it out, see my transformation, and just really hear my story and all that fun stuff. And I will talk to you guys next time for the next video. Bye.